We just had the Golden Globe Award nominations the other night, or the actual awards the other night. And you know what? They put on a good show. I talked about all the pros about the show. They kept the show moving. I think there's some certain lessons that the Oscars can learn from the Golden Globes. But at their core, the Golden Globes are a small group of foreign press who are just really a bunch of nobodies voting in some secret small circles and giving out. They're useless, meaningless awards. You know, awards are not useless or meaningless and do carry a lot of credibility. The SAG Awards, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, because these are the actors voting on who they felt were the best in the world of acting that year. It is actors honoring actors. And I think that's significant, and I think that's important. And that's why, other than an Oscar, I think the award that most actors really do covet the most are the Screen Actor Guild Awards. And well, the nominations for this year's Screen Actor Guild Awards have come out, and we're going to go over them right now. All right. First off, outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role. Bradley Cooper in Maestro. Coleman Domingo in Rustin. I did not see this performance. This is the one performance on the list I didn't see. Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction. Now, we're not going to go into it right now because we're going to save it for its own category. Obvious and conspicuous by his absence off this list is Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon, which is really interesting, but we'll get to that in a second. Rob, you look at this list. Who's your call to take home the Screen Actors Guild?
Cillian Murphy. I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen American Fiction, and I love Jeffrey Wright. That's my goal this weekend, is to see American Fiction.
I think you really like it. I liked it a lot.
Everyone loves it, and I can't wait to see it. But I mean, his performance in this film, it makes the movie, you know, and I was blown away by it. But then again, I loved Giamatti in The Holdovers. I love The Holdovers. I thought it was great, and he was great in it. But there was something about Cillian Murphy's performance that Cillian Murphy?
Cillian.
Is it Cillian Murphy?
Yeah.
I loved Oppenheimer, and I keep watching it. It's an amazing performance.
To me, Oppenheimer is the better of the two movies.
Yeah.
Right? It's the better movie than I loved The Holdovers. But I got to tell you what, I think this is going to be a closer race, not just here at SAG, but also at the Oscars. I think it's going to be a much closer race. Like, listen, Bradley Cooper was great in Maestro. Take nothing away from him. Jeffrey Wright is incredible in American Fiction. I didn't see Coleman Domingo in Rustin, so I can't comment on that. But I really do think it is going to be a much closer race between Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti than some people are thinking. And I think there is a chance Paul Giamatti could actually pull an upset and win in both of them. I mean, while, again, I think Oppenheimer is the better film, man, Giamatti is so good in The Holdovers.
No, he's really good.
You know, it's just incredible. So I think it's going to be one of these two guys. All right, let's move on here. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role. Annette Bening in Nyad, Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon, Carey Mulligan in Maestro, Margot Robbie in Barbie, and Emma Stone in Poor Things. I think this is a two-horse race again. I think this is either Lily Gladstone's or Emma Stone's for the taking. I think that was the general consensus for the last couple of weeks. It's going to be down to the two of them. Emma Stone, again, already an Academy Award winner. They love her in the Academy. She is, and this is such a different, I love it when actors get to show their diversity.
Yes.
Because we have never seen Emma Stone play a role like this.
No.
And she's crazy good in this.
She's so good.
If it wasn't for Lily Gladstone in there, I'd say this is a shoo-in. Emma Stone's going to get her second Oscar. It's going to be a two-horse race. I think it's going to get edged out by Lily Gladstone. How do you see this going?
I think you're probably right. I mean, Lily Gladstone also has the groundswell of support and also the, her background. And I understand that there's an extra added oomph behind her. But Emma Stone's performance in Poor Things was fearless. And it's hard when you're mixing. Look, even though I don't think she's going to win, I watched Nyad and I love Annette Bening.
She's I thought she was really good in it.
Remarkable. It's just that it's funny. I mean, I hate that I even think this way, but when I watch that movie, I'm like, of course she's this good. Just Annette Bening, I just assumed she's going to be that good. Whereas Lily Gladstone is somebody new, coming out of essentially obscurity to be thrust into the limelight in this 3.5-hour movie directed by Martin Scorsese. And she's actually really great in it, but I don't know if the role requires her to dig as deep as Emma Stone in Poor Things.
Here's the most impressive thing to me, what Lily Gladstone did. She was on screen with 2 easy first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yes.
And multiple Academy Awards between them. Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio, and she stole the movie.
And she absolutely holds her
When
own.
you upstage 2 of the greatest, not just today, but 2 of the greatest of all time.
100%.
And like you are drawing all the attention to you, and in the right way. I don't mean that in a diva way. That's something impressive.
It is.
And again, I think it's a 2-horse race. I think she's going to get it. Though.
Well, not to take anything away from her. She was incredible in the movie. You know,
Yeah.
she really was. And like you said, going up against that kind of talent and working with Scorsese himself. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. All right. We move on now to Best Supporting Actor. The nominees were Sterling K. Brown, of course, who won a lot of awards for This Is Us. Willem Dafoe in Poor Things, Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, and Ryan Gosling as Ken in Barbie. Again, a 2-horse race. I think it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Gosling. I think Ryan Gosling's going to take the SAG award for this one. I've just spoken to a lot of actors who, while we watched this movie, and don't get me wrong, I loved Ryan Gosling in this movie. I did. I thought he was terrific in it. But it wasn't until I talked to a couple of actors that said, you got to understand what he was able to pull off on screen and make us as an audience feel and believe. Not many actors today could really pull off. And when you look at it like that, I think there is a strong shot. Again, I'm not saying he's going to win the Oscar, but as far as SAG, I think it's down to these 2. I think it's a coin toss ultimately, but if I had to put $5 on it, I'm thinking maybe it's going to go to Ryan Gosling. How do you see it? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, MasterClass. Everyone, it's a new year. So picture that thing that you've always wanted to learn. Now, picture learning it from a person who's literally one of the best in the world at it. And that's what you get with MasterClass. This year, learn from the best to become your best with MasterClass. Don't just talk about improving. MasterClass helps you actually do it. Because MasterClass offers over 180 world-class instructors, so whether you want to master negotiation with Chris Voss, like I did, think like a boss with Martha Stewart, or learn the art of storytelling from the man himself, Neil Gaiman, MasterClass has you covered. Because with MasterClass, you get unlimited access to intimate one-on-one classes with the world's best. At MasterClass, there are over 200 classes to pick from, with new classes being added every month. And if you're a viewer of the John Campea Show, you probably love movie making, storytelling, television. So you'd be totally interested in things like screenwriting from Aaron Sorkin, learn developing original TV series from Stranger Things' The Duffer Brothers, or maybe you like the music side of movies, well, you can learn film scoring from Hans Zimmer. And right now, our listeners will get an additional 15% off an annual membership at masterclass.com/Campea. Get 15% off right now at masterclass.com/Campea. masterclass.com/Campea.
Look, no doubt, I agree with everything you just said, but Ryan Gosling was, for him, he relishes this kind of a role. There's a lot of Ken in him in real life. He's a really funny guy. You know, and you watch him like when he was promoting The Nice Guys, and when he was promoting working with Harrison Ford and all. I mean, so I don't think this was a real stretch for him. It was great what he did, but I think this is Robert Downey Jr.'s year across the board, only because it puts the final cap on his. He was up for an Academy Award for Chaplin. I think this is Robert Downey Jr.'s year because it's a career award as much as it is an acting award. And by the end, I mean, his performance is what makes Oppenheimer. That last hour, the whole hearing, I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah, it's some of the best work of his career.
Incredible.
No doubt.
And his performance makes the movie. I mean, it really drives everything home.
All right, we move now on to Outstanding Performance by Supporting Actress. The nominees are Emily Blunt, Daniel Brooks for The Color Purple, Penelope Cruz for Ferrari, which, by the way, quite liked her in it. I'm surprised she got a nomination for this, to be honest. But still, I thought she was very good in it. Jodie Foster for Naiad, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. This one, I mean, from a number of weeks ago, we started hearing that this is probably going to be a very clear, direct path to the Oscars for Randolph for The Holdovers. It's probably hers to take. Emily Blunt was great in Oppenheimer. Danielle Brooks is great in The Color Purple. This is a very good, solid lineup. But I mean, from the moment that I watched this movie, it's like, yeah, there's a good argument she could win Best Supporting Actress, and that seems to be all the momentum right now. So I don't know. Do you think anybody else has a dark horse shot at taking this from her?
No. I mean, Divine Joy Randolph was great. And the thing is, The Holdovers is a movie that lives and dies on its acting. And I thought it was a perfectly cast film. And she was great in it.
Yeah. All right. Then there's the big award. What is the SAG's version of Best Picture, if you will? It is the category of Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture. The nominees are American Fiction, Barbie, The Color Purple, Killers of the Flower Moon, and that was it. And and Oppenheimer are the nominees. Look, I wanted to take a really good hard look at Killers of the Flower Moon because De Niro's great in it, DiCaprio's great in it, Lily Gladstone's probably going to win. But when you look at not just the name recognition, take a look at this cast and think about what they did in this movie. From Emily Blunt, Kenneth Branagh owned it every second he's on screen. Matt Damon as the military dude was great. I was afraid that I would just see Matt Damon. He made me forget that. Obviously, we talked about Robert De Niro. Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, I was going to say he was a standout.
This was his re-coming out party, I think. This was the movie that I think this movie reminded everybody, Hartnett was a terrific actor that Pearl Harbor just completely sabotaged his career. And he should be a major A-lister today. By the way, he also this past year did that Operation Fortune with Jason Statham and Hugh Grant. And he was terrific in that movie with them as well. Rami Malek, Oscar winner in there. And you almost forget he was in the movie, but he was just so perfect. Cillian Murphy, Florence Pugh. I mean, I don't see how Oppenheimer does not win this. I was thinking about The Holdovers too, but it's too small of a group of people. This was a from top to bottom movie that was carried by brilliant performances across the board. So I think Oppenheimer takes us. What do you think?
Oh, I would say, to me, Oppenheimer was my favorite movie of the year, bar none. I can't tell you how much. To me, it's like The Big Short. I can't stop watching it. I just keep watching it over and over and over again. I only see one drawback as far as Oppenheimer being voted on. It's a little, let's call it one-sided in terms of its cast. There's no diversity there. And, I would think that...
But it's a historical movie, right? Those are who the characters
it's true.
were.
I agree. But I could see that there could be an argument made there. But, dude, for the most part, I would see if it's going to be edged out, it might be edged out by Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, I think if there's anyone to do it. But I just don't see them doing it.
But, dude, I have to say, Oppenheimer is, to me, a jaw-dropping movie across the board. And the performances, like you said, make it. There's not one performance in that movie that is anything less than authentic at any one time. It's astonishing. The movie's an astonishing achievement, and you can't take your eyes off that film. There is nobody, even if somebody walks on, even Einstein.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, the performances in this movie are absolutely insane.
All right, guys. Those are the big nominations that have now come out for the SAG Awards. Who do you see winning and all that kind of stuff? And is this really going to be the true precursor going into the Oscars? Whatever you guys think, let us know down below. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.